and people driven to serve in their communities.
Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. or anytime via podcast. It's time
to stop searching
and start serving.
Minnesotans are hardy. We don't let snow or ice get in our way. We have places to go, so making sure your vehicle is in prime shape for winter driving is so important. Take your vehicle to Rudy Luther Toyota for all your service needs. I was just there. I got my oil and filters replaced, and they did a complete safety check to make sure my vehicle can tackle what winter has up its sleeve. And they service all makes and models of vehicles. Head to RudyLutherToyota.com and use their super easy Toyota service scheduler to set up your service appointment today. Rudy Luther Toyota on the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Now is a perfect and exciting time to plan your next National Eagle Center adventure. When you visit this winter season, you can meet and learn all about the newest bald eagle ambassador, Perseus. Plus, the center is your headquarters for winter eagle information and experiences, including weekly winter bald eagle counts, golden eagle information, unforgettable expert-led field trips, and small group private eagle habitat tours for your family and friends. Make eagles part of your 2024 and plan your visit or experience today online at nationaleaglecenter.org.
Hey there, AM 950 community. Join me, J. Peter Bogosian, every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m. for a double dose of queer joy. This Queer Book Saved My Life and The Gaily Show. These programs are a jubilant celebration of the transformative impact of queer literature and the dynamic spirit of LGBTQ plus culture and entertainment right here in Minnesota. Tune in and be a part of this vibrant community. For all the details, visit thisqueerbook.com and am950radio.com.
Seward Co-op is now offering convenient self-serve and prepackaged hot options and salad bars at both the Franklin and Friendship stores. Breakfast items available daily until 11 a.m. and brunch served all day every Sunday. Their weekly lunch and dinner menus highlight cuisines from around the world. They offer vegan, vegetarian, and gluten-free options daily. 95% of the ingredients used are organic from small-scale, local community food producers whenever possible. More at seward.coop.
With AM 950 weather, this is Dan Riva. Today, fog, high 38. Tonight, freezing fog, low 28. Tomorrow, more freezing fog, high 39. Vinaigrette offers the finest olive oil and vinegar, from dark balsamic to cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil at 50th and Xerxes and vinaigrettemn.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
You're listening to the best of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm your host, Wakanja Hade, Distant Thunder. My colonized name is Robert Pilot. We discuss national and local Native American news and events. As we all know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings that wounded me.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local and national Native news and events, and as you know, Haley, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
You are right, Dega. This portion of the show is supported by J.S. Bean Factory off Randolph Avenue in St. Paul. Only the good stuff keeps us awake.
I'm awake. Hey, we're here with Dr. Stately, and later on we're going to have Leah Hale, award-winning documentary director, and with an upcoming documentary. And we're starting off the show with our friend Dr. Stately. He's the CEO of Native American Community Development and our friend here on Native Roots Radio. Dr. Stately, welcome as always, and great to see you. I was hoping to have a little talk with you before we get the director on about how you were involved and your young ones were involved.
Yeah, sure. Happy to talk about that. So I know Leah Hale. How I met Leah was through the community, just stuff that goes on in the community. But she reached out to me one day, I think on Facebook Messenger. She sent me an email message, and she said, "Hey, I'm shooting a documentary film on Henry Boucher's life, and we want to do some B-roll footage of just some Native kids skating, and we were thinking we'd like to have your sons do that." Her husband Shane has been a lacrosse coach with Indigenous Twin Cities Native Lacrosse, and my sons have been playing with TCNL since they were about 7 years old or so. So they played with TCNL for about 4 or 5 years until they turned about 12, I think, 12 or 13. And so Shane knew us and knew about the boys and knew that they played hockey. And I think we were just, at the right place in the right time. It's pretty cool. Get the invitation and the ask. And, we showed up at the rink. It was in St. Paul. We shot in, I forget what the name of the rink was now. It's right there. On, not too far from your house, actually. Edgecombe. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. And nice old rink, one of the first ones around, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the boys got to, hang out and shoot. Like they took B-roll footage of them, like doing maneuvers and skating and shooting and passing, puck passing, and those kinds of things, just to kind of include in the documentary. And then they had some time with Henry, and they did a couple of other things with Henry. They took some photos with him and stuff like that too. What was really cool was one of the producers was like, can we get one of your sons to wear this red shirt and this red bandana, and kind of like, shoot him like he's the young Henry Boucher, kind of like skating on that, which was kind of cute. It was really cool. And they took him into the locker room and they kind of like, dressed him up and brought him out. And I was like, I was laughing because I was like, oh my God, it is like a little young Henry Boucher. Like that classic picture of him. Yeah.
With the headband. When I was young, everyone thought I was Henry Boucher because I had long hair, and I guess I looked Indian, and I always wore the sweatband, Bill Walton wore it too, and Henry wore it. And I got to see his jersey too from back then when he played in high school. And because I don't know if you remember this or if it's part of the documentary, he got bloodied and came back, and there was blood on the original War Road jersey. So that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Crazy. There's a collector in St. Paul that has all his jerseys.
Really?
Yeah. When we were selling his book at the store, they came and did a signing, and I got to see those jerseys. The only jersey they couldn't find is the red Saints jersey. Nobody could find, and that was the end of the Minnesota Fighting Saints. They wore a red jersey instead of the blue one.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool story. It was really cool. What I loved about that day is, I took them there, so they're doing, it was like 6 hours or so of shooting film, and Henry wasn't on the ice the entire time. So him and I sat outside the rink, like in the, in the waiting area between locker rooms, like where we could see the rink and shooting. And he and I chatted and talked, and it had to be like one of the most coolest 2 or 3 hours I've spent in my life, just chatting with him and talking with him. And, he told me stories about, growing up. He told me stories about his hockey days. He told me stories about, all the women in his life.
You mean his mom and grandma, right?
I know. No. Yeah, right. I should have recorded on my phone so I could write his memoir, but the truth, the real story, the real Henry Boucher. I'm just teasing, but he was like such an amazing man just to sit and talk with. It reminded me of talking to others in my family, and I wasn't really super young when he played. I was probably in my late teens, early 20s, I think, when he was a player. I moved away from Minnesota when I was young, so I wasn't really around a whole lot when he was playing in Minnesota anyway. But also, it was just really cool to hear him talk about his experience. I asked him to give, at one point I asked him to talk to my sons about, his efforts and his challenges getting into the NHL, because that's kind of like their dream as well. And I was like, what advice would you give them? Could you give them any advice? He was just he goes, dream big and work really hard, he goes, and pray, because it takes talent, it takes hard work, and it takes a little bit of luck.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we had the opportunity. We had our Native Roots trading post at Shakopee's powwow, and he came up, and he had a walker, and I hadn't seen him because of COVID and all that. But it was really great to see him, and he had his War Road hat on, and it was good hanging out with him. And yeah, we really miss him. He's been on the show a lot, and we did a lot of book signings with his book. And as a matter of fact, at the fair, we sold out. We had, I think 25 of them, and they were gone, and they were all autographed. And now I only have one left here. I'm looking at.
That's my Christmas present you're going to give me next year, right?
Yeah, exactly. We'll exchange gifts this year for the first time ever. Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, no, it was we had good conversation. We laughed. He told me some jokes. He talked about, his time in Alaska. He was in Alaska for a while and then came back. And, yeah, it's just a really wonderful, generous, beautiful man who was kind and considerate, and just willing to talk about his life experiences, telling me the good, the bad, and some of the ugly. And he was he was just a genuine human being. It was really a beautiful afternoon. It was something I'll remember the rest of my life.
Yeah, and Henry was deep into the mascot fight, and we got to see him do his work in a good way, and got to work with him on that. Hey, wow, we're here with Dr. Stately, and up next, Leah Hale, award-winning documentary and filmmaker, and we are going to talk about this documentary coming up and when it's going to happen. And it's great Dr. Stately's here today, too, because of his connection, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake.
J&S Bean Factory is a Native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Hey, it's Tom. Going solar is a great way to save on energy costs. By using the sun to power your house, you can feel good about an investment that will last for years. All Energy Solar is a locally trusted turnkey solar installer that's been around since 2009. They provide custom designs and quality installations of solar panel systems that work for your energy needs. One of the best parts about going solar is it's an investment that can pay for itself. Your system can pay back 100% of the installation cost in as little as 8 years. Plus, a system from All Energy Solar can pay back over 300% of its cost over its lifetime. There's also many tax incentives and rebates available, and the experts at All Energy Solar can walk you through the entire process to make sure you're saving as much as possible. So go green, both financially and environmentally, with All Energy Solar. Get a free, no-obligation assessment from All Energy Solar by calling 800-620-3370 or visiting allenergysolar.com.
The AM 950 2024 calendar is still available, and it's not too late to get yours, featuring photos I took around Minnesota and important progressive dates. Members that sign up for a one-time $25 membership will receive a 2024 AM 950 calendar as a thank you gift. Make a one-time $50 or $100 donation. You'll get the AM 950 calendar and a brand new AM 950 tote bag as a thank you. Go to am950radio.com for the details on the membership. That's am950radio.com. Thanks to everyone who's already received their calendar, and thank you so much for supporting AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yes, they do. Hey, we're here with Dr. Stately, CEO of Native American Community Clinic himself, and then also our special guest. Not that you're not special, Dr. Stately. We know you're special in a special way, but we have Leah Hale, award-winning director and producer, and we're going to be talking about her new documentary coming out, and we're really excited to have you on, and welcome to Native Roots Radio.
Hello, Robert. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it. Hami Taku Yepi, Nina Yushki on Wachia Kapie, Chante Washdale Nape Chiuzapi.
Good one. Hey, we want to talk about a little bit about your documentary and when it's coming out, but and it's called The Electric Indian, and let's get right into it and talk about the process and how you came up with this. And I know Dr. I should say Henry Boucher's career was cut short. He was in 1978, I think, was the last year he played, and he had that vicious thing happen to him with his eye. And I don't know if he saw double vision the rest of his life or what. I can't remember.
Well, before we get into the details of the story, I just wanted to say that we're really excited. Like you mentioned, my name is Leah Hale, and I come from the Dakota and Diné people, and I work as a documentary producer and director for Twin Cities PBS. And I'm really excited and really overwhelmed as well to bring this documentary, this precious story that I worked on over the past year, into the world. We actually are planning on having a statewide release. Our broadcast date is coming up. It will be on TPT Channel 2 on March 26th, and I believe the time is 8 p.m. And I just kind of wanted to mention 2 pre-showings of the film as well. Just in case anyone wants to get a sneak peek of the film, we're going to be having a community premiere in the town of Warroad, Minnesota during Hockey Day, Minnesota. And that date is coming up this Friday. And it'll be Friday the 26th at 3 p.m. in Warroad, Minnesota. And the second one, for those of you in the cities, we are planning on having a screening at the Great Northern Film Festival on Wednesday, January 31st at 7 p.m. So I just wanted to throw those out there before we get into the story.
Yeah, and we'll have Haley bring those dates up again and yourself because it's really important. And I just have to say how refreshing and important it is that a native's doing a story on a native.
With your AM 950 weather, this is Dan Riva. Tonight, freezing fog, low 28. Tomorrow, more freezing fog, high 39. Sunday night, kind of cloudy, low 28. Vinaigrette offers the... With your AM 950 weather, this is Dan Riva. Tonight. With your AM 950 weather, this is Dan Riva. Sunday, freezing fog, high 39. Sunday night, kind of cloudy, low 28. Monday, sunny, high 43. Vinaigrette offers the finest olive oil.
So there is footage that is found in a documentary all the way. We actually have audio tape of him in the, I believe it's the 68th or the 68th, 1968 game when he played in the high school state hockey championship. I believe it was against Edina. So it was definitely a valuable audio that we got to include within the documentary, along with this like unique interview of him after his first initial eye injury that he had during that high school game. And, you know, everything from NHL clips of him when he was with the Detroit Red Wings all the way to the Olympics, and especially that critical moment that changed his life, his eye injury that happened, I believe, when he was on the Minnesota Fighting Saints. So definitely there's quite a few moving footage sequences that we created throughout the film.
I believe he was on the North Stars, and or no, was it the North Stars or the Flyers or the one that hit?
Yeah, sorry,
you know,
I got that confused. The Fighting Saints was afterwards. It was the Minnesota North Stars.
Exactly. Somebody's playing a flute background there, Mr. Stately.
Snacks are ready. That's what it is. I just have two hungry hockey players that just got home. Speaking of injuries, I'll get an injury if I don't feed them.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I appreciate was that he, and people don't understand this, but in the old days, there was only one hockey tournament. There was not an A league or a B league or a C league. There was only one division. So when a little school like Warroad came down to play the mighty Edina or any city school, they were at disadvantage in many ways. And I think to accentuate the greatness of him in that tournament would be hard to understate because of that.
Yeah, there's one story in particular which I believe we captured from the current mayor of Warroad, Robert Marvin. And when we interviewed him, he talked about when the injury took place, I'm not too sure how it all went down, but he got injured, and it was during, probably the final moments of the game. And he said once they took him off the ice, the whole arena started, chanting, we want Henry, we want Henry. And he just said it was just like so crazy because he's never witnessed that experience of like this whole, arena chanting one person's name and, wanting them to return. So it was just a unique story that he told within the film.
You know what's really crazy too? He played, of course, in the Warroad High School, and then played only 1 year with the Winnipeg Jets in '69 and '70, and then went right into the NHL. And I mean, how often does that happen? That's totally amazing. And especially back then, there was only 8 teams in the NHL, so not very many Americans, mostly people from Canada that were playing in the NHL at the time. So again, just unbelievable skills and how he came up, and people don't realize that. And I'm sure your documentary is going to talk about how great of a player, and not only that, but the obstacles that he had to go through.
Yes, not only do we mention, just the trajectory of his hockey career, but we also,
Okay, this is Dan. We're going to do the rip and read. This is rip and read, take one. Okay, I'm going to check my audio level again. Okay, this is Dan. Okay, we got a good audio level. And this is take one. In 3, 2, 1. During these trying times, our troops need our help more than ever. Right now, blood supplies are at an all-time low. Just 1 pint of blood can help save the lives of our brave servicemen and women. So give the gift of life. Give blood. It's safe, simple, and saves lives. That's a message from Copperfield Chimney Sweeps in Kilkenny, in Kilkenny, where great service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment, and it's totally backed by their years of experience. For an estimate, call 507-334-8015. That's 507-334-8015 for Copperfield Chimney Sweeps. Okay, I'm going to do 2 takes of the rip and read, and in one, I'm pronouncing the town Kilkenny, and the next one, I pronounce the town Kilkenny, whichever one it is. Please use that one. Okay, in 3, this is number 1. In 3, 2, 1. During these trying times, our troops need our help more than ever. Right now, blood supplies are at an all-time low. Just 1 pint of blood can help save the lives of our brave servicemen and women. So give the gift of life. Give blood. It's safe, simple, and saves lives. That's a message from Copperfield Chimney Sweeps in Kilkenny, where great service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment, and it's totally backed by their years of experience. For an estimate, call 507-334-8015. That's 507-334-8015 for Copperfield Chimney Sweeps. Okay, and here's version 2. Instead of Kilkenny, it'll be Kilkenny. In 3, 2, 1. During these trying times, our troops need our help more than ever. Right now, blood supplies are at an all-time low. Just 1 pint of blood can help save the lives of our brave servicemen and women. So give the gift of life. Give blood. It's safe, simple, and saves lives. That's a message from Copperfield Chimney Sweeps in Kilkenny, where great services. Okay, we're going to take that again. Okay, Kilkenny. In 3, 2, 1. During these trying times, our troops need our help more than ever. Right now, blood supplies are in. Let's take it again. In 3, 2, 1. During these trying times, our troops need our help more than ever. Right now, blood supplies are at an all-time low. Just 1 pint of blood can help save the lives of our brave servicemen and women. So give the gift of life. Give blood. It's safe, simple, and saves lives. That's a message from Copperfield Chimney Sweeps in Kilkenny, where great service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment. And it's totally backed by their years of experience. For an estimate, call 507-334-8015. That's 507-334-8015 for Copperfield Chimney Sweeps. Okay, this is Dan. We're going to do the rip and read. This is rip and read, take one. Okay, I'm going to check my audio level again. Okay, this is Dan. Okay, we got a good audio level. And this is take one. In 3, 2, 1. During these trying times, our troops need our help more than ever. Right now, blood supplies are at an all-time low. In Kilkenny, where great service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment, and it's totally backed by their years of experience. For an estimate, call 507 for Copperfield chimney sweeps. Okay, I'm going to do 2 takes. 5, that's 507-334-8015 for Copperfield chimney sweeps. That's 507-334-8015 for Copperfield chimney sweeps. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do 2 takes of the rip and read, and in one, I'm pronouncing the town Kilkenny, and the next one, I pronounce the town Kilkenny, whichever one it is. Please use that one. Okay, in 3, this is number 1. In 3, 2, 1. During these trying times, our troops need our help more than ever. During these please use that one. Okay, in 3, please use that one. Okay, in 3, this is number 1. In 3, 2, 1. In 3, 2, 1. Whichever one it is. Please use that. In 3, 2, whichever one it is. Please use that. In 3, whichever one it is. Please use that one. Okay, in 3, this is number 1. In 3, 2, 1. Whichever one it is. Please use that one. In 3, 2, 1. During these trying times, our troops need our help more than ever. Right now, blood supplies are at an all-time low. Just 1 pint of blood can help save the lives of our brave servicemen and women. So give the gift of life. Give blood. It's safe, simple, and saves lives. That's a message from Copperfield Chimney Sweeps in Kilkenny, where great service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment, and it's totally backed by their years of experience. For an estimate, call 507-334-8015. That's 507-334-8015 for Copperfield Chimney Sweeps. Okay, and here's version 2. Okay, and here's version 2. Okay, and here's version 2. Okay, Kilkenny. In 3. Okay, and here's version 2. Okay, Kilkenny. Okay, and here's version 2. In 3, 2, 1. During these trying times, our troops need our help more than ever. Right now, blood supplies are in. Let's take it again. In 3. Okay, and here's version 2. In 3, 2, 1. During these trying. Okay, and here's version 2. In 3, 2, 1. During these trying times, our troops need our help more than ever. Right now, blood supplies are at an all-time low. Just 1 pint of blood can help save the lives of our brave servicemen and women. So give the gift of life. Give blood. It's safe, simple, and saves lives. That's a message from Copperfield Chimney Sweeps in Kilkenny, where great service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment. And it's totally backed by their years of experience. For an estimate, call 507-334-8015. That's 507-334-8015 for Copperfield Chimney Sweeps.
Came in, and I already, before I even reached out to Anthony, I already, had the vision. And during my research, I came across his sons, which I love so dearly. And I seen an article that was written about them in The Circle. And I was just like, man, this is so perfect. I always try to find ways to bring in other indigenous talent, not only like what we see visually, but what we hear. And what was so awesome was getting the support and the agreement for Keith Sokola to allow us to license his music to use and feature within the documentaries. So I really try to bring on as much as I can with a limited amount of budget, because we work with opposed to Hollywood documentaries or these Netflix documentaries where their budgets are like multi-million-dollar budgets, but ours is a few $100,000. So we do what we can with it to do what we can to make the best story.
Well, Dr. Stately was saying how great of the experience it was for him and his kids, right, Dr. Stately?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing, and it was like just really. I was into photography, and I think, I don't know, I think I told you this when we first started conversating. I used to live in Los Angeles, so I kind of had like this idea of, well, I went there as a young man. I'm gonna be a Hollywood Indian. I was gonna be a country singer too.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
didn't know
These are
that.
like big dreams. At 22, 23,
Yeah.
and yeah. So I was like, I've been around a lot of that world because my former partner was also a makeup artist, worked in that industry, and then he also was like a fashion photographer and worked with a lot of Hollywood folks. So I kind of lived in that area and worked in that area. But this is the first time I sort of been that close up to people actually filming. Like I usually have maybe I was lucky to be up on a sound stage and it was happening way over there. So I didn't really see all the stuff that went into it. But I was there on the ice with them and watching them and, watching them do their work. And I was just really impressed at like how amazing and professional they all were. And it was such a wonderful experience. They gave my sons a little stipend. They were so proud of their little check that they got when it came in the mail too. They were
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was like, I would have done this for free.
Right.
I don't care about that.
That's
It was
awesome.
just really, the best payment was spending time with Henry and talking to him. I was like, this is the most amazing experience.
Wow, that's great.
Miss him for sure.
Definitely. So could you give those dates again for the War Road premiere and also in the Twin Cities again?
Sure. So the War Road premiere is going to be happening during Hockey Day, Minnesota, and that's this Friday, January 26th at 3 p.m. And a Minneapolis screening is going to be taking place during the Great Northern Film Festival on Wednesday, January 31st at 7 p.m.
Well, we'll be there, darn it. And one last, we got just a minute left. One last thing. What do you feel like one of the most important things that anyone watching this is the takeaway of the Henry story?
Where I think of one of his last lines in the film, and he says, "If you're going through hell, just keep going and get through it, because the positives will start to happen." And then to me, I felt like that line summed up, the whole film, because really it's about, overcoming our personal challenges and finding that resiliency within us to succeed and be the best at what it is that you put your heart into.
Wow, beautiful. Leah, come on the show before the premiere here on TPT too, and let's get people out there watching it. Really appreciate you being on with us, and we're going to be rooting for you, and what a great story that you're going to be telling. Pini Gigi for coming on.
Wopita Tonka, thank you for having me.
All right.
That was
Hey.
great premiere. Bye.
All right. Up next, Dr. Stately. We'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us. Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Eat Local Minnesota is a great way to find locally owned Minnesota restaurants and food purveyors. You'll find high-quality food and unique eating experiences with dishes from around the world. Just visit eatlocalminnesota.com for your next meal. Crooner Supper Club invites you to Maggie's Lounge, an exciting new bar lounge. It's open Wednesdays through Sundays beginning at 4:30 for cocktails and light fare. And you don't need a ticket to enjoy the great atmosphere of Maggie's. So stop by Crooner Supper Club off Moore Lake and Highway 65 for dinner, drinks, and live music from both big-name local and national artists. Cafe Latte combines a cafe dining experience with gourmet quality food. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Hey, wow. How exciting for the community. We're here with Dr. Stately here, who's CEO of Native American Community Clinic here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. And it's fun having a small community and get connected. And your kids, your boys are in this documentary. Proud dad time, and it'll be alive forever.
Yeah, I think that's pretty special. It's kind of cool, you know. Couple decades from now, they'll be able to show it to their kids and be like, look, there I am.
Yeah,
I think I saw that clip of them in the trailer, Dr. Stately, in the headband. That made the trailer.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. So she sent me quite a while ago, she sent me the original, like she sent me a link to the unfinished, like the almost completed production, you know, like no color correction yet. It was like I felt like I was watching, you know, video of like you know, like in the late 60s, early 70s. Like the whole thing felt like it was like that because none of it had been color corrected yet. It was like, you know, it had the little lines through it, like, you know, you see like when you watch your Super 8 film. It produced this whole like feeling of nostalgia for me. I was like remembering, like, you know, being a young man growing up in the Twin Cities watching hockey. We used to go to North Stars hockey all the time when I was a kid. You know, my grandpa Erie and my grandpa Paul would take us to those hockey games, and we had free tickets. And also my mom was friends with I would say Bill Chapman. He used to take us to games too. Anyway, yeah, and it was just a really wonderful experience. And I was happy to like have my sons be able to meet like somebody of Henry Boucher's, you know, stature and history making. I wanted them to understand, like, you know, that you know, greatness looks like a lot of things. It doesn't look like, you know, like necessarily, you know, although I think, you know, people like Mark Fleury, like, you know, all the attention he got for like wearing the masks on the Wild thing, the Dakota mask, on those kinds of things. Well, that's greatness, and that's beautiful in all kinds of really important, meaningful ways. Here's a man, a Native man who's from Minnesota, who grew up in a small, poor community and was able to get all the way to the NHL. And, you know, and worked hard to get there. They try to remind them of that. It takes a lot of hard work, and it takes dedication and belief in yourself.
Absolutely. You know, the 69 Minnesota State tournament where he was injured, they lost in overtime to Edina, and he's considered one of the greatest players ever to play in Minnesota hockey. And just to read that and know that this documentary is going to be awesome, because again, we're getting to tell our own stories, Dr. Stately, and that's so cool.
Well, I think that's really meaningful. It's an important piece of like history to commemorate, and it's also to, you know, and institutionalize, so that all, you know, so that, you know, everybody knows this is like the truth, the story about his life and his pathway and his roadway to get to where he was at. I think it's important that other Native boys and girls see that, you know, see that experience and understand it, and they can see themselves in that person, because he reflects back to them, you know, who they are as Indigenous people, and understanding, like, you know, what what is possible when you have a dream and you have a vision and you're passionate and you're willing to work hard for something. And I was really happy that I was able to sort of expose my sons to that time with him. I remember that we were sitting here, and I was sitting, I think, here at the dining room table, and in my house, and I heard the news. It was late at night. I heard the news that Penny had passed, and somebody had texted me, and I was like, oh, you know, I took a deep breath. I was like, you know, I actually gasped. I was like, I knew his health was fragile. We talked a little bit about that. He talked about his health condition. He talked about how important this movie was to have him get it completed. I was, you know, in awe of him. He was really proud of, you know, all of his progeny that he created that are amazing hockey players too. You know, all of his grandchildren, his children and grandchildren who play hockey and who are continuing that legacy that he started. And I think that's really just a beautiful thing that we have that documented, right? And that we have that story can't be untold now. And so it's a really amazing thing.
Well, that makes me think of, what was it, 2 or 3 years his grandson was in the hockey tournament with playing for Warroad, and also had long hair and wear the headband in honor of his grandfather.
Yeah. So, and his family is just really wonderful people. I remember when my sons won the state tournament a couple of years ago. I called Jason Shakobee's dad, because my sons are, like, you know, in awe of him, and TJ Oshie and that whole family system. They're really proud of them, and, you know, and like him, I was thinking about, like, Leah's comments as she was being interviewed during your conversation. Like them, my sons are the only Native kids in their whole entire association. They don't see a whole lot of other Native kids on the ice playing with them, and it is a very, very deeply white-dominated sport, and they've had some of their own experiences of, like, you know, racism, both covert and overt, and it's been challenging to support them through that as they grow up and be young men and go out into the world and try to find their place, and, you know, having these conversations with them about, you know,
it's that internet.
Yeah, it's you know, it's crazy, Haley. I just got to read a couple things here, and one of the things was that he was injured, and by Dave Forbes of the Boston Bruins. He was assaulted in a publicized stick incident, and it left Henry with a cracked bone around his eye and blurred vision. And he tried to sue the NHL. He was out of the NHL by, I think he was 28 years old. And that's the sad fact. And, you know, some of the things that the documentary, Leah and Dr. Stately were alluding to, he had some rough times there, and then he was sobered up and really has been part and helped the community for the rest of his life. So he's going to be greatly missed. Greatly missed.
Yeah. Well, and Leia's film, the documentary that she has coming out, The Electric Indian, if you can't make it up to Warroad to see that premiere this weekend, they will be doing a release of it January 31st here in the Twin Cities from 7 to 9 p.m. And this will be aired at the Main Cinema, which is 115 Southeast Main Street. Tickets are $15, and you can look up more information at thegreatnorthernfestival.com.
We got less than a minute. Dr. Stately's back. Any final words, feelings? It's always great to see you, and you know, what a great thing to be a part of coming up.
Yeah, it was a deep honor to be part of it. You know, there is no greater sport in the United States other than hockey. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa, wait a minute. No, hockey is pure sport when it's played right, you know, and in the young people play it right because they go back up and down and work their skills. You know, the old Rodney Dangerfield line, I was at a boxing match and a hockey game broke out. That's the way it was in the 70s, and I think it's less fighty now. But it's a skill. It's a big skill.
Yeah, it teaches them a lot of life lessons, which is really great.
Right on. Hey, Pinagigi, Dr. Stately, thanks for coming on. And as always, we're still here. We are the 7th generation. This has been Native Roots Radio.
And free Leonard Peltier. No.
The AM 950 2024 calendar is still available, and there's still time to take part in the brand new thank you. Become a sustaining member of AM 950 with a recurring monthly payment of $50 or more, or make a one-time membership donation of $250 or more. And not only will you receive the AM 950 calendar and the AM 950 tote bag as a thank you, but you'll also be invited to an exclusive AM 950 thank you, a meet and greet with me, Matt McNeil. The meet and greet will be happening soon, so you have to sign up now. For more details or to sign up to become a member, go to am950radio.com. That's am950radio.com.
Hi, everyone. This is Andy Otto, inviting you to join us on our next episode of Twin Cities Pride Amplified. We're coming up on Black History Month, and it's the perfect time to talk with the most amazing human, Zaylor Stout, author, attorney, and activist. We will be talking about Zaylor's best-selling book, Our Day History in 50 States, as well as how he got involved in advocacy and his upcoming project. Join us on...
My name's Amber from the Ho-Chunk Nation. You're listening to AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hi, this is Ken Hageland, host of Living Healthy and Aging Well, inviting you to listen to our live call-in talk show airing every Saturday from noon to 1, where we talk about your health and your life and provide insights you need to know to live an